Welcome back to your Yankees Latest. I'm your host, John Laloggia. Yanks get blanked last night 1-0 against the Angels. They've been kind of scuffling for runs as of late, and last night was a challenge. They could not get any runs across. They ended up losing in 11 innings. Judge gets his 100th hit of the season. Trout gets a base hit, but really not a lot going on here. They can't hit Soriano. He throws 7 shutout innings, strikes out 6 hits. Chisholm goes 3 for 5 with a double. Stanton returns, gets a couple base hits, his first hit of 2005. So he looks pretty good at the plate, which is a plus. But yeah, really nothing going on as far as offense. I think. Judge makes a really great catch in right field. They play good defense. It's good to know that, they can pitch and they can play D, but last night just not having it. They have a couple more games, 3 more games with the Angels, but last night they lose in 11, unfortunately. And it happens. Rice didn't hit. So Jose Soriano was absolutely nasty. Obviously he's got electric stuff. That slider down and in just killed left-handers. Grisham, 86, 87 miles an hour down and in. Rice couldn't hit it, 86 to 88. Really kept hitters off balance, throwing 97. Got a couple ground ball double plays. So just nice job by him. But that slider, 86 to 89, was just absolutely filthy last night, and nobody could hit that pitch. He was just absolutely rolling. So it happens. It's baseball. We move on. Got 3 more. And we'll see what happens. Stanton swung at a slider that literally was in the left-handed batter's box. It was so far outside, it was almost comical. And this is their 4th straight loss, so I don't want to hit the panic button right now because this team's really good. But, the Yankees went 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position. That's a problem. You have to be able to hit with guys on base. I know there's technically no clutch stat according to all the sabermetricians, but when guys are on base and you're not getting them in, that's not good. Boone was like, I thought we had okay bats, and really sort of tonight was kind of tipping your hat to Soriano because he was really, really good. But there's a couple situations where you just need to drive in runners, and they didn't do it. I would say the bright spot of all this was Clark Schmidt. he was absolutely incredible. It was one of his best performances of the year. His line, 7 2/3 inning pitch, 4 hits, no earned run, 3 strikeouts. So really did a nice job. 96, threw it up in the zone, blew away Soler, a couple other guys, just really aggressive with the fastball, which was I really like to see. Sinker, cutter, 96 to 91, throwing in the slider down and away, around 85 miles an hour. But again, just pitched, and I really like that. Him and Will Warren are really finding those 27 outs, as Greg Maddux said. There are 27 outs. It's your job as a pitcher to find them, and he is finding them. 3 strikeouts, but 7 2/3 shutout inning. I know the Angels aren't great, but did a really nice job. That fastball is 96, 97, but that cutter at 91 throws off timing just a little bit. That is such an effective pitch, not just down and away to righties, but into lefties, where he can jam people, but then he can also go 96, 97 and throw it up and get some strikeouts or get some pop-ups. So really great slider from him. He's been fantastic. But again, the Yankees have lost their 4th straight game for the first time this season and haven't led in their past 39 innings. They've been held scoreless in their past 20 innings. That is a little concerning. listen, it's baseball. Everyone goes into slumps. I didn't expect this team to score 10, 12 runs every single game. There was some regression that was bound to happen. But I think tonight you just tip your hat to Jose Soriano and move on, because he was just absolutely filthy in this game. All right, I want to talk about a couple trade rumors. Don't freak out, all right? I want to talk about Luis Robert Jr. And I know what you're thinking, John, it's a terrible idea. We have an embarrassment of riches in the outfield. And I get it. Judge, Bellinger, Grisham, there's a lot going on there. There is something in, I believe they refer to it in the financial industry as a distressed asset. That's someone who's really good, who nobody wants, for a variety of reasons, personal or otherwise. I think in Luis Roberts Jr., he hasn't been very good. He hasn't been the 2023 Luis Robert Jr., who's an absolute stud and one of the most talented players in baseball. Just hasn't been able to put it together. Ton of upside, speed, power, dynamic in the outfield, an absolute gun, a huge asset, but a distressed asset because he has not been playing well. I think it's definitely a high risk, high reward, because someone's gonna get hurt. Okay, Judge, Grisham, Bellinger, and we know Stanton. Someone's going to get hurt. And we talk a lot about third base, which I think Suarez is a really solid pick there. If I had to pick a third baseman, it would be Suarez. How hilarious would it be if Devers goes to the Yankees? That would be so funny. San Francisco's like, we'll just give him to the Yankees for prospects. Zach Gallen, I really, really like. He, again, has had a down year, but I think he knows how to pitch. He knows how to pitch in the postseason. And the other thing, too, Luis Robert Jr. is on a bad team. Zach Gallen, Arizona Diamondbacks, they're on a very underperforming team. And also they play in a division that's extremely difficult if they're going to win that division. So it doesn't look good for them. So Luis Robert Jr., I think, could be a sleeper pick. The guy is an absolute stud, and I think he hates playing on the White Sox. And who wouldn't? The team is terrible. After what he went through last season and the last couple seasons, and so much promise in 2020, and then they hired Tony La Russa. We all know what happened after that. I think he wants out of Chicago, and this is the classic change of scenery type of guy where he goes to another team and he's just absolutely phenomenal. I think that could be Luis Robert Jr. I think it could be a steal, and I wouldn't be surprised if later in September he's playing, maybe not every day, but playing well and hitting for power. And he's great in the outfield, and I think he could really use a change of scenery. I think they should really look at this guy as a possible move at the deadline if they don't have to give up too much. So Suarez at third base, Gallen I like starting pitcher of a right-hander. Don't sleep on Luis Robert Jr. Could be a possible blockbuster trade with a potential change of scenery. Because I think he wants to get out of Chicago, and I think the Yankees might be a good landing spot for him. That's been your Yankees Latest. I'm your host, John Laloggia. Join me tomorrow. We'll recap the rest of the Anaheim series. Take care.